just to give people information. So this is going to be a biblical and scientific look at what's in our water and how it affects our health. So I'm starting off with this quote: "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." And that's our whole idea here, right? Is to just give people knowledge to make smart choices. So what is fluoride? Fluoride is a chemical compound added to most public water systems to prevent tooth decay. So fluoride can naturally be found in some water sources, but it's the natural mineral form. What is being added to the water, tap water, toothpaste, dental treatments, teas, and processed foods made with water is from an industrial byproduct. And this was originally, well, Dr. Bacon, you can add to this, but as we said earlier, it was originally put in the water systems as sort of like a public safety or public health, act to help prevent tooth decay.
100%. Yeah, and literally, this is what they wanted us to believe, that it was really to help harden the teeth so they didn't break down, which is exactly kind of what it does, but it doesn't really remineralize and make the teeth stronger. It hardens the outside, the exterior of the tooth. And the idea behind this is, when does anybody know when it was added into our water supply? Anybody know?
I'll take a guess, like 1950s, 1940s.
Right around there. 1945 is when it was in Michigan, is when they started to add it in. Just because it kind of gives us a date. And that date kind of is after something that happened. When did, what was really significant around the 1941, 42? What was going on at that time? What happened in the world? What's that?
World War II.
Yeah, so there's a war going on. Yeah, and so the idea behind this is, we knew about fluoride. They talked about fluoride, and we're not going to get too crazy about this, but the idea was that when we added this in, it was supposed to help strengthen the teeth. So 1945, this has been running in our system for that long. So think about, now that they know kind of what fluoride can do, I'll add a little bit more about who was the first person to ever add fluoride in the water. In fact, I might as well get that out of the way right now. Does anybody know who the first person was to add fluoride in the water was? Anybody know? Travis, I know you know. Go ahead, say it.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Nazi?
Yeah, so there's been studies that they found that literally fluoride, and I don't want to take away from the from your presentation, Karissa, but it helps to dumb down and make people more malleable, a little bit more docile. So Hitler knew this and gave this and put this in the waters of the concentration camps, things like that, so that people wouldn't revolt or, push back or, fight and things like that. And so he did it there. And then he also realized it would also help and not really technically kill anybody. So he started putting in the regular water and drinking water throughout Germany. And then the second person to do that, which was kind of a larger monster than even Hitler, I know it sounds horrible, but was number 2. Claire, who was the second person to put it in?
Stalin.
Yeah, so Stalin started to do this. And this all happened kind of around that time, the 1939, 40, 41, right around that time, 42. And then it transitioned, and now and we started adding it in also. And not to say that the government was against us, but think about it. Do we want a lot of uprising and revolting and anger and, resentment against the world wars that were going on? Because there's a lot of, controversy toward all that stuff that was going on. Now, I'm not going to pick sides or do anything like that. I'm just going to go ahead and say, yes, that we would rather people just kind of let things happen and roll through. So those two people were the first two to ever really start adding fluoride into the water. They will tell you it's a conspiracy type idea, but when conspiracies now that have been proved to be true, it's hard not to believe some of the conspiracy theories that are out there. So,
do you
Karissa,
you might be stealing Karissa's thunder? This might
no, and that's why I'm going to
in the presentation.
No, this is good. This is good. We need the backstory. We need the the evidence and the truth, right? We're going to get into some more, scientifics and what this actually does. But I think that this is great added information that people need to know,
Yeah,
and perfect more weight.
Yeah, I'm perfect. And I'm just throwing that out there now to get this started. And I was just about to step back and go, so that gives you kind of the context of where it started. when really, when you're building bone and growth and development, you need vitamin D, you need vitamin K, you need K, there's other things that you really need to help grow that. You need estrogen, you need hormones, you need like all these things help to really build bone and strengthen the body. It's not fluoride, right? Nowhere in there does it say you need fluoride to build bone, right? So Karissa, go ahead and start with what we're doing. I'll step back. I will add things as I feel we need
please
it,
do.
but please go ahead and carry on.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to add one more thing because, like, at least not we all, but I'm very familiar that it is in the tap water, but it's also interesting to add that it's in sodas, processed foods, anything that's going to be used with tap water. So that's just important to know. And certain toothpastes, they have fluoride-free toothpastes that are optional, but if you don't know, why would you choose that? There you go.
And it's interesting, right? They're now saying that they're creating fluoride-free toothpaste. Why? Why would they create it if it was so great for our teeth? Because there's research.
People understand now.
Yeah, it's starting to come out now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so just a quick small fact, currently about 372 million people, which is only really about 5.7% of the world's population, receive artificially fluoridated water in about 24 countries, including Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, the Republic of Ireland, Malaysia, the US, Vietnam, and there's obviously more. That's not 24. But there have been some countries, like especially in Europe, that are no longer adding fluoride to their water.
Yeah, putting it to the water. Yep.
Right. So why is it a concern? And I did include this tweet from RFK where he said on January 20th, the Trump White House will advise all US water systems to remove fluoride from public water. Fluoride is an industrial waste associated with arthritis, bone fractures, bone cancer, IQ loss, neurodevelopment disorders, and thyroid disease. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump want to make America healthy again. So there's movement happening, right? Because clearly there is a concern. So the concern is the body can't eliminate fluoride. It is accumulated in bones, thyroid, pineal gland, and brain. And like in RFK's tweet, studies link chronic exposure to fluoride to lowered IQ in children. So if we're talking about wanting people to not revolt, sort of just, they
believe the narrative. There is no pushback. There is no, I don't really want to learn or understand. Right.
Yeah. Thyroid dysfunction, weakened bones, a disrupted gut microbiome, mitochondrial and enzymatic interference, and it's classified as a neurotoxin in high doses per a Harvard study. So clearly lots of issues linked with this that is just running in all of our homes.
Yeah. For years.
Yeah.
Okay,
so now we'll look at the nervous system connection. This is probably my favorite part of the presentation. Let
me add my favorite part too. We're chiropractors, for crying out loud. So yes, this is our favorite part. Travis, Sam, pay attention, right? No, go ahead.
So the pineal gland is referred to the spiritual center of the body. It plays a critical role in regulating spiritual awareness, consciousness, and connection to higher realms of existence, including our connection with God. So people believe that the pineal gland is where the soul resides, acts as a gateway for spiritual experiences. It's highly sensitive to light and responsible for the production of melatonin, which regulates our sleep cycle. And the pineal gland accumulates more fluoride than any other tissue in the body, which I think is really cool. Well, it's not cool, obviously, but it's interesting, right? And that's obviously a concern because it can calcify the pineal gland and disrupting it to function optimally. This interference may dull spiritual experiences and hinder one's deeper connection with God. So when, we're talking about sort of having a society that's just like, it's not someone who's kind of asking God for clarity or, making decisions because other than just like what they've been told, right? More curiosity.
Or even that fear of God, right? That idea of, maybe I shouldn't do that because that's one of the, that's a sin. I shouldn't do that, right? They just really kind of negate it like it's not that big a deal, right? They don't have that worry or that scare, that understanding. And that connection is really key too. So go ahead, keep going. Yeah.
And then also the pineal gland plays a vital role in regulating our sleep cycle through melatonin production. The fluoride buildup can disrupt this, leading to sleep disturbances, imbalances in the circadian rhythm, which are crucial for physical and mental health, and mental clarity, right? Disruptions caused by fluoride accumulation may result in mood imbalances, depression, anxiety, irritability, and this can interfere with one's ability to experience peace, clarity, and spiritual connection.
Think about that, right? What is the one thing that melatonin does that's really impressive about it? It lowers what hormone?
Cortisol.
Yeah, it lowers cortisol, which is adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Like it helps your body get into a relaxed state, which is when you meditate, you connect, you pray, you like those quiet moments. How can you get into those quiet moments when your mind is constantly racing and active and you can't really get into that growth and repair, which is exactly what we do at nighttime. It's the one time that we're supposed to literally shut everything down, which we don't really stop, right? There's no stopping of digestion. There's no stopping of detoxification. Things are going on a regular basis. However, that is the time that you don't have any other distractions, usually. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
However, when people go to bed, what are they watching? TV before they go to bed, or their, blue light, or their scary movies. There are other things that may kind of make it tougher for them to get into that growth and repair. So love this. I mean, what a huge concept when it comes to getting fluoride or heavy metals out of the body. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like overall, like the first slide of this, protecting the temple, that's what this whole presentation is about, and knowing how to do that.
Yep.
So it also can cause thyroid and hormonal impact. So fluoride competes with iodine, which blocks the thyroid hormone production. Symptoms of this can be fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, mood swings. Iodine-rich foods, seaweed, eggs, fish, and supplements can help support balance in this area. But obviously, we would want to not just support it, but kind of remove the toxins.
Yeah, and Claire, I'm going to just piggyback on that. What's another chemical that's in there that we're eating now on a regular basis in bread and stuff like that also affects the thyroid?
Bromide.
Yeah, yeah. So you think about these.
Bromide.
Yeah, so this is another thing. So this is why there's so many different chemicals now in the processed foods that we eat, that we all worry about gluten when really we should be worried about the chemicals that are actually made or created in the processing of the foods, the glyphosates, the bromide, the other things that are actually affecting our body's hormones' ability to communicate and work and function optimally.
Yeah. The way that I kind of look at it is like it's clogging.
Yeah.
Like it's just clogging you.
Yeah, it's congesting that system. I like it. Yep, 100%.
So stewardship and purity. I just have this verse from Corinthians. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, which we have been talking about a lot in the practice? And God calls us to guard what enters the body physically and spiritually. So fluoride represents a modern form of compromise, something accepted as normal that slowly harms health. And stewardship means that taking responsibility for what we drink, eat, and expose our families to, and being aware of things so that we can make better, healthier, more,
better choices. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And thinking about that, right? And it's, we talked about this the other day too, about how many vitamins people take vitamins usually when they're sick or when they're run down, right? We, this group here, take vitamins on a regular basis, not because we're sick, but because we know that sickness is coming. We've been injected. We've been, we're constantly exposed to glyphosate, fluoride. I mean, things in the environment, all these other things that are going on that we need to support our body just to help repel and push away toxicity. Does that make sense, guys? I mean, we're all doing it, right? And that's just changing our mindset, obviously, to do what we can to help support our body.
Yeah. Oops. And then just some prayers for wisdom. So from James, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generosity to all. So praying for discernment in your health choices, like if you're someone who kind of has a hard time, like making better choices, like God can help you in this area. Like you don't have to do it alone. Obviously, knowledge is helpful, but we need discipline, right?
Yeah.
And then also asking for healing from toxic buildup and restoration for the body's natural design. Like you said, Dr. Bacon, we are surrounded by toxins, and there are supplements that we can take and things that we can do, but God is the ultimate healer and he can help us there too. And then just thanking God for knowledge, truth, and the ability to make the changes that glorify him.
Yeah, I want one more little thing to add with that. And, even when you talk about praying and things like that for, the natural design and support the body's detoxification, but like always thinking about what healthy tissue looks like. Pray for things that you already know exist and that you want him to further that. When you think about save me from cancer, I mean, I love the idea of praying to God for all those type of things, but really, do we want to just ask him for things, or do we want to go, thank you for everything you've given me, and live in a gratitude based center, going, hey, God, thanks for all these great things. I love the fact that my tissue is healthy and pink and vibrant and my blood flows and it's red and it's, for vitality. Like thinking that way through these prayer mantras and things like that are really more of a gratitude and grateful position than it is more, please help me, I want more money, or please help me, I want, right, and living in that kind of a state. So that praying, or that pray and asking for things that you already know are great and are magnificent about the body, and more of that is I think is a good message.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then restoring balance. So detoxifying the body of fluoride and other harmful toxins, along with increasing awareness about these disruptions, help clear the interference at the source. So through this process, you can rebalance the nervous system, which may support in both physical and spiritual healing. So detoxifying by switching your waters, obviously. So, switch water to fluoride-free water this week, support your body's detox systems daily, and educate others. I think especially parents who are taking care of people that are not available to know this information about protecting the temple. And remember that God designed your body to heal when given the right environment. And it is your job to create that environment for your body to heal.
Yeah. Awesome. Like we're about to do We're about to do a little cleanse on our own, right? We're about to do a little SIBO type kit. It's just a cleanse kit that we're going to all go through, and we'll see if we all survive it. No, we'll be fine. It's just going to help open up and allow our body to detoxify better and more efficiently. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That is the last slide. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
No, I mean, honestly, it was great. I'm going to throw some out here because I want to hear what Claire has to say, but
I wanted to ask a question.
Oh, go ahead, Claire.
I wanted to ask if anybody here, if y'all have seen the little documentary called Daily Dose.
I have not.
No, it's good. It goes into like some of the history of fluoride and like all the things that you mentioned about why it's toxic, and all the ways that it's prevalent in our food supply, and all of these like soft drinks and anything you buy at the gas station pretty much has fluoride in it. But it's good to watch. I think you can just find it on YouTube.
We might have to add this to our movie night.
That might be a movie night. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yes.
Daily Dose. There's a short section, like there's like 5 minutes in it, and it might even just be in the trailer. I'm not sure. That kind of just says the majority of what you would want to know.
Summary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I love it. I mean, and it is one of those things that we are exposed to on a regular basis, whether you're swimming in a swimming pool. What's the largest organ in the body, Travis?
Skin.
Yeah, the skin. So you're actually sweating and detoxifying on a regular basis, but you're also absorbing. And women putting what on their faces?
Makeup.
Or all over their body, right? So, I mean, some of that stuff can have toxins in there that would dysregulate or cause problems or harm in the body. And where are we processing all of that through, ladies and gentlemen?
Liver.
Yeah, that liver, right? And it's funny because in our practice, there are always people are going, it's either my gut or my liver, doc. You're going after either one. But it's true, right? All those neurotransmitters, all those hormones that we're processing, those two areas are really responsible for what we put in our mouth or what we put on our skin. And that's where the majority of the toxins are coming in from, right? Besides toxic thoughts, which if you open the Bible at all and you start just paying attention to some of that, yeah, it gets those toxic thoughts out of our mind and really puts us back in control of the choices that we make. So Any other questions, guys? Keep firing them at me. Trav or Sam, you guys got anything?
I guess, well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but like there are now fluoride-free toothpaste. So like, I guess some of the common brands, we were talking about it earlier, like Tom's, there's like Hello. I'm sure you guys we have something in the office too that we order sometimes. What's that one called?
We have Dental Herb Company here, and
Hmm.
then sometimes we also have the doTERRA On Guard.
Yeah.
So
Some of our favorites, right? Just some of the things that we use. And if they have questions about that, they can always ask. I mean, that's something we can
Mhm.
do there.
yeah, there's like on Full Script, there's another one available called Dental Amin or something like that. Anyway, it's made from the biocidin people, which biocidin is pretty well known as like a naturopathic herbal combination that's like really antimicrobial.
Claire,
They're
what's
making a toothpaste now.
what's some of the oils you would recommend for people using for cleansing their mouth or their teeth or something?
Oh yeah, I do have a recipe for making homemade toothpaste, and you can add essential oils to it to kind of change the flavor. But I think it's best if you use either the On Guard or the Thieves
Mhm.
drops, and it's like a combination of coconut oil, baking soda, xylitol. Can't remember. Oh, and we also put the calcium lactate powder in there. And so we just
Yep.
mixed it up in a jar and it made like a very nice toothpaste
Mm.
that you could use. That's good. You can also make like a little toothbrush sanitizer, like just having a little cup and then putting some On Guard in there and just letting that soak overnight. So you're not like, think about what we do. We like scrub our teeth with a toothbrush that probably has all kinds of germs on it anyway.
Oh, it's got plenty of them on there, and they're aerobic and things like that. So some of them are dying, but some of them are hanging around as you put that right back into your mouth. So
Yeah, but I
yeah,
I think that's a big thing that people don't know. I think people are kind of starting to realize that thyroid dysfunction is an epidemic across the country, yet nobody is like dentists are not telling people, oh, you have a thyroid issue or you're on levothyroxine, then we shouldn't use a fluoride treatment on you. Like nobody's making that connection. But
I mean, but if you ask your dentist, most of the dentists now understand. They give you a fluoride option or a non-fluoride option, which is fantastic. But you've got to pretty much ask them, otherwise they're
you
just
ask
rocking
them,
through it.
they're not going to bring it up. They're just going to
No,
get fluoride out unless you stop them.
yeah, or ask them about it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You don't have to tackle them. Don't get violent with your dentist, right, Claire? But yeah. Anything else? So we want to keep talking about this. Hey, and by the way, I want to make sure I know we didn't advertise this very much, but I want to make sure we're getting a little bit more of that out there so that these guys have a chance to. We get a couple more people on. I know I had somebody ask me about it. They watched it later for the one last time, and they really enjoyed it. So, Chris, I think these are great, and these are like little fun things for us to do. I think it's great for us to sit around and talk about this stuff, learn, because it just reinforces when you're putting this together. Chris, did you learn a few things while you were doing this? Right?
Yeah, I learned a
Yeah.
bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's really great about it, just to be more like get more in depth with what's going on. And I love the Bible verses that you put together. It truly does go hand in hand with trying to do the best we can not to, really harm the temple or understand what we can do to make it better. There's some things that we're never going to be able to avoid. And God understands that we have these exposures in here. And, some of them are a little bit more outside of our control with what they're spraying on us and things like that. But to really understand that we should pay more focal or have more of an attention on what we can do to support our bodies through these processes. And I love the idea of you talking about just even cleansing and other stuff like that, because it's so true, right? We should cleanse, we should heal, we should make sure we're paying attention to what we're dealing and what we're putting in the body. Anything else? So Travis, Sam, anything else you guys want to add?
I think we're all set.
I'm good.
No. Excellent. Karissa, I think that was awesome. I think honestly, I think this is a good little presentation. I think there was a lot of information. We could talk more a little bit about like kind of Germany and kind of what's going on in the past and kind of how a lot of those scientists, they were doing a lot of experiments. And this is where fluoride became kind of I guess, a technical piece of our history now and understanding what it's been doing to like our environment on a regular basis, because we're still seeing tooth decay. We're still seeing teeth getting breaking down. And I mean, shoot, look at our street corners now. I mean, there are dentists everywhere. In fact, you know what's really growing is pediatric dentistry. I don't know if you've noticed,
Mhm.
that's another thing that's really growing. Why?
Mm.
Because of some of the fluoride in the water and the toxicity that we're getting exposed to on a regular basis. Of course, they're eating way more sugar than they should, but demineralization of the bone and the teeth is definitely becoming an epidemic, and it does lead to other conditions like Claire was saying, thyroid issues and hormonal issues. So let's just be aware of it. I mean, I think this is kind of the first step for people to understand that there are way more things out there for us to pay attention to. So anyway, Chris, anything else you want to add? Or do we know what we're doing for in 2 weeks? Do we know what that class is about? Or we're going to keep them on the seat of on the end of their chair?
Keep everyone on their toes.
I like it. I like it. We'll kind of let you know as it comes closer. However, we will get more information out maybe a week or two before, maybe the week before, letting people know what's kind of coming. And if they want a chance to click on, they can to ask questions.
Yeah.
All righty. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for your time.
You guys.
Appreciate it. And everybody is to now just go take naps and relax and do nothing the rest of the day. Right? Now, so enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys again. And we'll see you guys again on the next one. All right.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
So I'm going to stop this.